Continuing on with our interim study guide. Okay, so 1/2 x plus 4x minus 1/2 x. Well, I really could just use the calculator for this, and I'm trying to find an equivalent expression. So let's figure out what this would be if I simplified it. All right, so 1/2 x minus 1/2 x is 0, right? 0x, so it's just 4x plus 60. So 4x plus 60 is what I'm left over with, right? So which one of these gives me 4x plus 60? The only one that does that is B, because if I distribute the 4 to the x and the 4 to the 15, I get 4x plus 60. So my final answer there is B. Number 23, okay, simplifying. Again, distributing 1/2 times 2 is just 1, so just A. And then 1/2 times 4 is 2. So this is going to be A plus 2 or B. A lot of you got that wrong on one of the tests because you didn't distribute the 1/2 to the 4, right? So just be careful of that. Sorry, the thing that's holding the phone is very bizarre. Okay. Number 24, going to simplify. Distribute the 3 to the 2x. That's 6x. 3 times 7 is positive 21. Negative 2 to x is negative 2x, and negative 2 distributed to 5 is negative 10. Combining like terms, I've got 6x and negative 2x, which is 4x. 21 minus 10 is going to be 11. So 4x plus 11 is my final answer there. Number 25. Consider the two equations. Which statement about these solutions is true? Okay, so we're going to have to solve both of these. So 4x plus 5 equals 58. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides, and I'm going to sidebar this. It'll be 4x is going to equal 53. Divide by 4 on both sides, and x will be, and again, I'm just going to do 53 divided by 4 in the calculator, and that's going to give me 13.25. So x is 13.25, so it can't be B, it can't be D. So let's go ahead and solve for the y value. I'm going to distribute 4 to y and 4 to 5. So this is going to be 4y plus 20 equals 58. Subtract 20 on both sides. And I'm going to have 4y is going to equal 38. Divide by 4 on both sides. And I'm going to have 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. A is my choice. Okay. Keep going. Okay, number 26. What is the value of m in this equation? Okay, so I'm going to distribute and solve. So negative 4 times m is negative 4m. Negative 4 times positive 8 is negative 32. That's going to equal 3 minus 14m. Can't do anything on the right-hand side. So I'm going to add 4m to both sides. And that's going to leave me with negative 32 equals 3 minus 10m. Subtract 3 on both sides. And I'm going to have negative 35 equals negative 10m. Dividing by negative 10 on both sides is going to give me really 35 over 10. But that can simplify because they both have a 5 in common. So if I divide by 5 on top, I get 7. If I divide by 5 on bottom, I get 2. So 7 over 2 is my answer there. Okay. Number 27, what is the solution to this equation? Okay, we're going to distribute and solve. So that's going to be 5x plus 15 equals 2x plus 3. I'm going to subtract 5x on both sides. I'm going to keep consistent with how I solve problems, right? So 15 is going to equal negative 3x plus 3. I'm sorry, I'm trying to go fast. There's a lot of problems here. Negative 3 on both sides minus 3 on both sides gives me 12 equals negative 3x. We'll divide by negative 3 on both sides, and negative 4 is going to be my x value, okay? Number 28, find the value of x that makes it true. Well, we're just going to solve. So 1/3 times x is 1/3 x. 1/3 distributed to negative 12 is going to give me negative 4. And your calculator will do that for you, obviously, equals 2x plus 1. Now, here where it gets a little tricky, I'm going to subtract 1/3 x on both sides. So then I'm left with negative 4, and that's going to equal, I'm going to put this in my calculator, right? So we're going to do 2 minus 1/3. That's going to give me 5/3. So 5/3 x, that's a negative, plus 1. Going to subtract by 1 on both sides will give me a negative 5 equals 5/3 x. Okay. How do we get rid of a fraction when it's attached to a letter or a variable? We're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal, which is just the flipped over part. So I'm multiplying both sides of the equation by 3/5. So 3/5 times negative 5 is really going to be negative 3. That's my final answer, okay? Number 29. Determine whether the equation has no solution, one solutions, or infinitely many. Okay, these are negative signs. I don't know why they look like that. Negative 2 distributed to 11 is negative 22. Negative 2 times negative 12x is positive 24x. And that's going to equal negative 4 times 1, which is negative 4, and negative 4 times negative 6x, which is positive 24x. I'm going to add 22 to both sides, which is going to give me 24x equals 18 plus 24x. Subtract by 24x on both sides, and something interesting happens. Both x's cancel. I have to put the 0 down when there's nothing there. 0 equals 18 is not a true statement, which means it's no solutions. And it's no solutions because the variable disappeared and we're left with two numbers, one on either side, and they're not the same number. Okay, that's no solution. Number 30, determine whether the solution has one solution, no solution is infinite. Okay, so same thing. Unique solution is not a thing. So that's not what we do, okay? So let's simplify it. So 2x plus 20 minus 17 equals 5 plus 2x minus 2. Let's combine like terms before we start moving stuff. So 2x plus 3 equals 5 minus 2 is 3 plus 2x. Take a look at what's happening here. It's the exact same thing on both sides, all right? This is also for bonus points. This is the commutative property, right? Because it's the exact same thing on both sides. That means it's infinite solutions. It's the exact same thing on both sides. We got infinite solutions. Call it a day, okay? Number 31, what is the solution to the equation? Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Stop shaking, thank you. So 1/3 times 9x is going to be 3x. 1/3 times positive 2 is going to give me 2/3, and that'll be ugly, but it's okay. Equals 4. We'll distribute 2/3 times 6 is going to be 4x. And 2/3 times 4 is going to be 8/3. Combine like terms before we shift things. So 3x plus 2/3 is going to equal, well, the 4x drops because I don't have another x. And then 4 plus 8/3, I'm going to do in the calculator. So 4 plus 8/3 gives me 20 over 3. So positive 20 over 3. Now let's subtract. So we'll minus 3x on both sides, which leaves me with 2/3 equals x plus 20 over 3. Now I'm going to subtract by 20 over 3 on both sides. Okay. These are common denominators. I can put in the calculator if I want to, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it. That's going to be negative 18 over 3, which is interesting because that goes to something else. That's going to equal x. Okay. Well, negative 18 over 3 is negative 6 because it simplifies. So negative 6 is my final answer there. Okay. Okay. Going to do two more quick, and then I'm going to break for a little bit and then come back for the last video. How many solutions does an equation have when the variable adds out, basically when it goes away? And this final sentence is true. So if I gave you 5 equals 5, that's infinite solutions. There's no such thing as like 2 solutions because that's not a thing we talk about this year, okay? And then how many solutions is if we isolate the variable and equals a constant? Basically, if I have x equals 2, well, that's one solution, all right? So I'm going to pause you for a little bit and I'll come back. Thanks.